Have you ever been hurt by someone you trusted? Maybe it was a cruel comment, an unforgivable betrayal, or just an act of pure thoughtlessness that left you reeling. In those moments, it's natural to want to lash out, to fire back with the same intensity. But what if I told you that there's a way to respond that doesn't just diffuse the situation, it leaves the other person speechless? Imagine being able to turn every hurtful moment into a display of inner strength, wisdom, and unshakable calm. What if you could respond so powerfully that, instead of falling into the trap of anger or regret, you walk away not only unscathed but empowered? Sounds impossible, right? Well, it's not. In fact, this kind of powerful, composed response is exactly what the ancient Stoics mastered, and they left behind a treasure trove of wisdom to help you do the same. Today, we're diving into the timeless philosophy of Stoicism, a practice that's been transforming lives for centuries, showing you exactly how to respond when someone hurts you. Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca didn't just endure pain. They used it to cultivate an unshakable inner peace and remarkable strength. They understood that while you can't control the actions of others, you can control how you react. And through their wisdom, they offer us powerful strategies to take back our peace, our power, and even our joy, no matter what life throws our way. In this video, you're going to learn 8 life-changing Stoic lessons that will not only help you handle hurt more gracefully, but will make you the kind of person who responds to pain with grace, strength, and a level of wisdom that leaves others in awe. Trust me, this isn't just about letting things go. It's about mastering your emotional responses so that no one can ever push you into a reaction you'll regret. It's about responding with purpose. So, stick with me until the end, and I promise you'll walk away with insights that will change the way you handle conflict forever. And hey, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you want more life-changing wisdom delivered right to your feed. Comment below with your thoughts or experiences on Stoicism, and let's get this conversation going. Are you ready to transform the way you handle hurt? Let's dive in. 1. Accept what you cannot control. Picture this. You're hurt. Someone has said something cruel, or perhaps they've betrayed your trust in a way that feels impossible to forget. You feel the sting, the anger, the injustice, and the overwhelming urge to fix things, to make them understand, to change the situation. But here's the brutal truth. You can't control what they do. You can't control their actions, their words, or even their thoughts. And in that realization, there's both pain and freedom. But how? How can you be free when someone has wounded you so deeply? This is where Stoic wisdom steps in and flips everything you know about handling pain on its head. The Stoics believed that the key to emotional mastery was understanding this simple yet powerful truth. Control what you can and let go of what you can't. In the heat of the moment, when you feel like you've been wronged, it's easy to fall into the trap of wanting to control the situation. We want to make the other person feel the weight of their actions. We want to change their mind, to demand an apology, or even seek revenge. But the Stoics knew better. They understood that these feelings, though valid, are a source of inner chaos that prevent us from reclaiming our peace. What's shocking about this lesson is the sheer power it offers once you accept it. Think about it. The more you fight against what's already happened, the more power you give the other person over your emotions. The more you try to control something you cannot, the more you lose control over yourself. This is where the real liberation lies, in accepting what you can't change. That person's words, their actions, their behavior, none of that is yours to fix. The only thing that belongs to you is how you react. Here's where it gets really interesting. When you accept that you have no control over others, you instantly step into a position of strength. You regain control over yourself. You no longer waste energy on what's beyond your reach. Instead, you redirect that energy toward your own response, your own emotional state, and your own choices. This is where Stoicism offers us a hidden superpower, the ability to turn inward and master the one thing you can actually control, your own mind. Imagine how different your life would be if, instead of trying to force someone to see things your way, you let go of the urge to control them and focused entirely on your own response. Imagine not feeling the need to justify yourself, to win an argument, or to get back at someone. Instead, you'd walk away with your peace intact. You'd rise above the drama, unshaken. That's the power of accepting what you cannot control. This doesn't mean you become passive or indifferent to the wrongs done to you. Far from it. It means you refuse to let those wrongs control you. You choose to rise above the hurt, not by fighting back, but by letting go of what you can't change and taking responsibility for your own emotional freedom. The next time someone hurts you, pause, breathe, reflect. Then remind yourself, this is outside of my control. What I can control is how I respond. And in that moment, you'll find your inner peace, and that's the moment your power truly begins. 2. Pause and breathe. Don't react in anger. Think about the last time someone hurt you deeply. Maybe it was a sharp word, a betrayal, or something that felt completely unfair. What was your first reaction? Did you feel that surge of anger, that instant heat rise up in your chest, demanding to lash out, to make them feel the way you do? It's natural, right? It's human to want to retaliate in the moment. But here's the game-changing truth. The moment you act out of anger, you lose control. You give the situation and the person who hurt you all the power. This is where Stoicism drops a bombshell. Don't react, not immediately anyway. Instead, pause, breathe. Create space between the stimulus, the hurtful action, and your response. And here's why this is so powerful. That moment of pause, that's your secret weapon. The Stoics understood something that might seem simple at first, but is profound when you truly grasp it. You are not your initial reaction. You are not the immediate surge of emotion that arises in response to someone's cruelty. Emotions like anger, frustration, or sadness are natural, yes, but they don't define you, and they don't have to control you. The key is not to react impulsively, but to choose your response. And the best way to do that? Pause. When you're hurt, there's a reflexive impulse to act, to immediately defend yourself, to push back. But think about the last time you reacted in anger. Did it make the situation better? Or did it escalate things, leaving you feeling regretful, vulnerable, or even more hurt? The truth is, when you act from a place of anger, you're not responding thoughtfully. You're responding out of reflex, out of fear or frustration, and often that only deepens the conflict. Here's where the Stoic pause comes into play. When you stop and breathe, you give yourself the time and space to see the situation clearly. Instead of drowning in emotion, you take a step back. You acknowledge the anger, but you don't let it control you. In that moment of stillness, you can reflect on the situation with greater clarity. What's really happening? Is this worth your time and energy? What's your next best move? Not to win or seek revenge, but to preserve your peace. The beauty of this practice is that in that moment, you shift from being the reactive player in the drama to the calm, wise observer. Imagine walking through life with that kind of control, not being at the mercy of your emotions, but taking the reins and responding with intention and wisdom. That's power. The more you practice this pause, the more you'll realize that, in reality, you always have the choice. Anger may come naturally, but so does the decision to not let it rule you. You can rise above it simply by taking that pause, breathing, and deciding who you want to be in that moment. So next time someone hurts you, take a step back. Breathe. Don't give in to the reflex to lash out. Instead, choose to respond with grace and strength. If this lesson resonated with you, then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more wisdom that will help you navigate life's challenges with the calm of a Stoic. Comment below with your thoughts. How do you deal with anger when you're hurt? Let's talk about it and continue growing together. Ready to take control of your reactions? Your peace is in your hands. Let's dive deeper into how you can master it. 3. Practice empathy. Understand their perspective. Imagine this. Someone you care about has just hurt you. Maybe it's a friend, a family member, or a colleague. They've said something that cuts deep, and your mind is racing, flooding with anger and confusion. How could they say that to me? Why would they do this? It's natural to want to immediately label them as the villain, to hold on to your pain, and to build a case against them. But here's a shocking Stoic insight. What if the key to freeing yourself from hurt lies not in demanding an apology, but in understanding the person who hurt you? Yes, you heard that right. Empathy, seeing things from their perspective, can transform your entire experience of hurt. The Stoics weren't just concerned with mastering their own emotions. They also understood that by understanding others' actions, we could detach ourselves from emotional reactions and move toward a more peaceful, centered response. You might be thinking, how can I possibly empathize with someone who's hurt me? It's not about excusing their behavior, nor is it about letting them off the hook. Instead, it's about releasing yourself from the chains of resentment and emotional turmoil. When you empathize, you stop seeing the situation through the narrow lens of your own hurt and begin to see it from a broader perspective. This act of stepping into another person's shoes has an unexpected power. It frees you. Think about it. People don't usually hurt others without reason. Behind every hurtful action, there is often a deeper story, a story of their own fears, insecurities, or past experiences. When someone lashes out at you, it may have less to do with you than you think. They may be acting from their own pain or frustration. The Stoics believed that by recognizing the humanity in others, even in their imperfections, we could prevent ourselves from being consumed by our own anger. It's not about excusing their actions, it's about seeing them as part of the bigger picture. Imagine how freeing it would feel to look at someone who's hurt you and think, what's going on in their life right now? What might they be struggling with? Instead of reacting impulsively, you gain a moment of clarity. You no longer see them as the villain. You see them as a person, flawed and struggling, just like you. This shift allows you to move from a place of rage to a place of understanding, where your peace and emotional well-being are no longer tied to their actions. But here's the twist. Empathy doesn't mean you have to be a doormat. You can still set boundaries, protect yourself, and stand up for your dignity. Empathy is about releasing the emotional hold that the person has on you. It's about making the conscious choice to not let their actions define your peace. The next time someone hurts you, take a moment to pause and ask yourself, what could they be going through right now? What if their words or actions have more to do with their own struggles than with you? And in that moment, instead of reacting in anger, you'll find yourself responding with clarity, compassion, and strength. If you found this insight helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful wisdom that will help you grow stronger through adversity. Comment below. What's the hardest part about empathizing with someone who's hurt you? Let's keep this conversation going and learn together how to master our responses with Stoic wisdom. 4. Use wisdom to respond, not emotion. Picture this. You've just been deeply hurt by someone. Maybe it's a cutting remark, an unfair accusation, or even a betrayal. In that moment, the anger wells up inside you like a storm, and your first instinct is to respond, to speak your mind, to defend yourself, to retaliate. It's human nature, right? But here's the thing. What if your first reaction is the worst thing you could do? What if your best move is to not react at all, but to respond with the wisdom and clarity that only comes when you pause, reflect, and act with intention? This is where Stoicism drops a life-altering truth bomb. True strength lies in responding with wisdom, not emotion. The Stoics understood something crucial about human nature. They knew that emotions, while natural, are not always the best guides. When you're hurt or angry, your emotional responses are often impulsive, clouded by pain, pride, or fear. But wisdom comes from clarity. Wisdom comes when you rise above the moment, take a breath, and choose your words and actions carefully. Think about the most heated argument or conflict you've been in. How often did acting out of emotion make things better? Almost never, right? More often than not, an emotional response leads to escalation. It makes you say things you don't mean, act in ways you regret, and only deepens the conflict. But if you take a step back, breathe, and respond with wisdom, something powerful happens. You control the narrative, not the hurt. You regain your peace, even in the face of chaos. Imagine the scenario. Someone insults you, trying to provoke a response. Your initial impulse is to fight back, to defend your honor, to make them feel the weight of their words. But then you remember the Stoic wisdom. Your peace is more valuable than their words. Instead of reacting emotionally, you pause, you think. You might even take a moment to let the initial sting of the insult fade away. And when you do respond, it's not with anger or a sharp retort. It's with clarity and calm. This is what the Stoics mastered, responding purposefully rather than reactively. By choosing to act from a place of wisdom, you not only maintain your composure, but you also control the way the situation unfolds. You show strength, not in your ability to retaliate, but in your ability to remain unmoved by provocation. And in doing so, you leave the person who tried to hurt you completely speechless, not because you've humiliated them, but because you've shown an unparalleled mastery over your emotions and actions. It's about seeing beyond the immediate pain, looking at the bigger picture, and asking yourself, what's the wisest course of action here? It's about not allowing the moment to control you, but choosing to respond with clarity, perspective, and grace. When you learn to act from wisdom, you stop being a pawn in the game of emotions, and you become the one who sets the rules. The next time someone tries to hurt you, remember this. Emotions are not the enemy, but they should never be in charge. Let wisdom lead, and you'll navigate every storm with calm confidence. If you've found this lesson valuable, make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss another piece of Stoic wisdom. Comment below, how do you manage your emotional responses in moments of conflict? Let's discuss how we can all master the art of responding with wisdom, not emotion. Lesson 5. Accept the impermanence of pain. Imagine this. You're deep in the pain of a hurtful moment. Maybe it's an argument that left you feeling exposed, or a betrayal that has shattered your trust. Every part of you wants to hold on to that pain, to give it weight, to let it define your day, your week, maybe even your year. You replay the words over and over in your head, each time feeling the sting anew. But here's where Stoicism offers you a radical shift in perspective. What if this pain you're holding on to right now is not permanent? What if in reality it's fleeting, just like every other emotion or experience? This is the lesson that the Stoics teach us with shocking clarity. Pain, like everything else in life, is impermanent. This moment, as painful as it feels right now, will not last forever. The Stoics didn't deny the reality of pain. They simply understood that suffering is temporary. They knew that no matter how deep the wound feels, it will eventually heal, and in time, the intensity of the hurt will fade. Here's the truth that's hard to swallow. The longer you hold on to your pain, the longer you let it control you. The more you resist the reality that this moment of hurt is temporary, the more power you give it. In essence, by clinging to the pain, you are choosing to extend your suffering beyond its natural course. But the Stoic approach is different. They teach us to accept pain for what it is, a fleeting part of the human experience that will eventually pass. Imagine how freeing it would be to look at your pain through the lens of impermanence. Instead of getting swallowed up in the anguish, you recognize that it's part of the ebb and flow of life. It's a storm passing through, and though it might feel overwhelming now, it will soon subside. In that moment, you reclaim your peace by refusing to let your pain define you or dominate your thoughts. What if, instead of resisting your emotions, you simply allowed them to pass? When someone hurts you, it's easy to get caught in the trap of feeling like the pain is a permanent state, like it will never end. But the Stoics remind us that even the most intense feelings are temporary. That anger you feel? It's only temporary. The sadness? It's temporary. The sense of betrayal? Also temporary. Think about the last time you were in emotional pain. Did it feel endless? Did you believe it would never go away? But now, with time, don't you see how that pain did eventually fade? That's the power of accepting impermanence. It gives you the freedom to move forward, to not be bound by your emotions, and to see every difficult moment as something that will pass in its own time. Next time you're hurt, remember, this too shall pass. It may not feel like it now, but the pain you're feeling today won't last forever. When you accept that reality, you shift from being a victim of your emotions to someone who masters them, someone who navigates life with strength and resilience. If this lesson spoke to you, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to keep this journey going. Comment below with your thoughts. How do you remind yourself that pain is temporary in moments of hurt? Let's discuss how we can all embrace the impermanence of our suffering and move forward with greater strength. 6. Focus on your own virtue, not revenge. Picture this. You've been wronged. It's clear as day. Someone has betrayed you, insulted you, or done something that feels completely unforgivable. Your first instinct? To seek revenge, to make them feel the sting of their own actions, to restore balance by getting even. But here's where Stoicism throws a powerful curveball. The best revenge is not to be like the one who wronged you. It's a shocking idea, isn't it? In a world that glorifies retribution, where getting even often feels like the only way to restore your honor, the Stoics offer a radically different path. Instead of lowering yourself to the level of the person who hurt you, focus on your own virtue, on maintaining your integrity, your peace, and your sense of honor, regardless of how others behave. The beauty of this lesson is that it gives you total control over the situation. Revenge is like a trap. It's a quick fix that leaves you hollow, filled with more resentment and anger than ever. But focusing on your own virtue is a long-term solution that fortifies you, turning your response into something powerful, something that not only defends your honor but elevates it. When you choose to act from a place of virtue, you are the one who walks away victorious, not by defeating someone else, but by maintaining your own strength, dignity, and sense of self. Think about it. When you seek revenge, you're allowing the person who hurt you to continue controlling your emotions. Their actions, their cruelty, their betrayal, they're still dictating how you feel. By focusing on your own virtue, you free yourself from that grip. You stop giving them the power to define how you respond. Instead, you define yourself. When you act with integrity, you don't need to retaliate. Your strength, your nobility, and your ability to rise above the hurt is the response that leaves others speechless, and that, in itself, is the true victory. But how do you do this? The Stoics suggest that the answer lies in self-reflection. Every time you're wronged, take a step back and ask yourself, what would my best self do in this moment? How can I respond with courage, wisdom, and honor, even when someone has treated me unfairly? When you ask yourself this, you start to shift the focus from them, their actions, their cruelty, back to you and your ability to rise above it. By practicing this, you begin to see revenge not as a form of justice, but as a form of weakness. The person who hurts you is not the one with the true power. The true power lies in your ability to remain virtuous, to stay grounded, and to refuse to be dragged into a cycle of bitterness and retaliation. Next time someone wrongs you, remember this. Your virtue is the only thing you can truly control. Focus on that, not on getting even. And in doing so, you'll leave the other person speechless, not because you've hurt them back, but because you've shown a level of character they never expected. If this lesson resonated with you, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more Stoic wisdom that empowers you to rise above the chaos of life. Comment below. How do you focus on your own virtue when someone wrongs you? Let's talk about how we can all master the art of responding with strength, not retaliation. 7. Recognize the power of silence. Think about a time when you were hurt. Maybe it was a cruel insult, a thoughtless act, or a betrayal that left you feeling betrayed and vulnerable. Your first impulse, like most people, might be to speak up, to defend yourself, to set the record straight, to fight back. But what if the most powerful response isn't to say a word at all? What if, instead of reacting with anger or trying to explain yourself, you choose silence? What if you realized that the power of silence is not weakness, but one of the most compelling forms of emotional mastery? This is exactly what the Stoics understood. Silence is often the most powerful weapon in your arsenal. When someone wrongs you, your automatic reflex may be to fight fire with fire, say something cutting, retaliate with an insult, or justify your actions. But Stoic philosophy teaches us that sometimes saying nothing at all is the most powerful response. And here's the kicker. In silence, you regain control over your emotions and prevent the situation from escalating. Imagine the scene. Someone insults you, and instead of reacting, you simply remain silent. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to get the last word, and you certainly don't need to engage in their drama. You just pause. You breathe. And in that silence, something profound happens. You regain your inner strength. Instead of being swept away by the emotional tide, you remain anchored, unshaken by their words or actions. What makes this approach so powerful is that silence speaks volumes. It's a response that forces the other person to confront their own words or actions without you needing to engage. Often, when someone behaves poorly, their expectation is that you'll rise to the bait, argue back, defend yourself, or even fall into a shouting match. But when you don't engage, they're left wondering, why didn't I get the reaction I wanted? It's disorienting for them. They can't understand why you didn't lash out, why you didn't react with the same hostility. And in this space of uncertainty, their power over you dissolves. Silence is not about avoiding the conflict. It's about choosing to control your emotional response. By resisting the urge to react, you send a clear message that their words or actions don't have the power to dictate your state of mind. You show that you are above the drama. You show that you will not let someone else's behavior control your peace. This is not about being passive. It's about being intentional. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to choose not to engage in unnecessary conflict. Think of it as a shield of calm, a way to create space between your emotions and the situation at hand. By mastering the art of silence, you prevent yourself from being drawn into the chaos of anger, regret, or shame. So, the next time someone hurts you or tries to provoke a reaction, remember this lesson. Silence is your superpower. In that moment, your silence can speak louder than any words could, leaving the other person not only speechless but unsure of how to proceed. And in doing so, you protect your peace, your dignity, and your emotional freedom. If this lesson struck a chord with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more life-changing wisdom that can transform the way you handle conflict. Comment below, how do you use silence to maintain your peace in difficult situations? Let's continue the conversation and grow together on this powerful path of Stoic mastery. Master the art of letting go. Imagine a situation where someone has hurt you. Maybe it was a betrayal that shook you to your core, or a cruel remark that cut deeper than you expected. The initial pain is overwhelming, and for days, maybe even weeks, you can't stop thinking about it. You replay the event over and over in your mind, trying to make sense of it, wishing you could change it. But what if I told you that the secret to regaining your peace is not in holding on to the hurt, but in letting it go? This is where the Stoic mindset offers a profound shift. Let go of what you can't control, especially the past. In every moment of hurt or injustice, there is a choice to be made. You can either hold on to the pain, letting it consume you, or you can release it, understanding that your freedom comes not from controlling the past, but from choosing to let it go. This might sound easier said than done, right? How can you simply let go of something that has hurt you so deeply? The truth is, it's not about erasing the hurt or pretending it never happened. It's about releasing the hold that the hurt has on you. It's about making a conscious decision that your emotional freedom is more important than staying tethered to a painful moment. Think about it this way. When you hold on to the past, you carry its weight with you. Every time you replay that hurt, every time you relive the pain, you're allowing the person who hurt you to continue controlling your emotional state. You become a prisoner of that moment, trapped in a cycle of resentment and bitterness. But when you let go, you regain your freedom. You stop being the victim, and you start taking control of your emotional destiny. The Stoics understood that the only thing we truly have control over is our own mind, how we choose to respond to the events in our lives. They recognized that the more we cling to past wrongs, the more we allow those wrongs to define us. But when we choose to release them, we free ourselves. The past is gone, and the future is unwritten. The only moment that matters is the one you're living right now. What makes this lesson so powerful is the sheer weight it lifts off your shoulders. Imagine waking up one day and realizing that the pain you've been carrying is not something you have to carry anymore. Letting go is not about forgiveness, it's about reclaiming your peace. When you choose to release your attachment to the hurt, you choose a life of freedom, resilience, and emotional mastery. Here's the trick. Letting go doesn't happen overnight. It's a daily practice. It's about acknowledging the hurt, processing it, and then choosing not to let it control your next moment. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. And eventually you'll find that the weight of past hurts no longer drags you down. Instead, you rise above them, stronger and more at peace than ever before. So the next time someone hurts you, remember, you don't have to carry the pain. Let it go. Choose your freedom over your suffering and watch how your life transforms. If this lesson resonated with you, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more transformative Stoic wisdom. Comment below, how do you practice letting go in your own life? Let's keep the conversation going and support each other on this incredible journey of emotional freedom. Conclusion: the power of Stoic wisdom in your life. As we wrap up today's journey through Stoic wisdom, remember this: life will always throw challenges your way. Hurt, betrayal, and moments of frustration are inevitable. But the Stoics have given us a powerful toolkit to handle these moments with strength, grace, and wisdom. From pausing before reacting to focusing on your virtue, mastering silence, and ultimately letting go of the past, these lessons don't just offer a way to respond to pain. They give you a way to transform your entire approach to life. The true power in these teachings is that you get to decide how you respond. The external world can hurt you, but it can never take away your ability to choose how you handle it. And when you master your emotions, when you respond with wisdom and calm instead of anger and resentment, you become a force of unshakable strength. Now, it's your turn. Will you choose to apply these lessons in your own life? Will you use Stoic wisdom to respond to the next challenge with calm, control, and clarity? The choice is yours. If you found these insights valuable, be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you can continue growing with us. Comment below, what lesson from today's video resonated with you the most? We'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Remember, the journey to emotional mastery is ongoing, and together we can continue learning and growing. Thank you for joining me, and as always, stay strong, stay wise, and keep embracing the Stoic path. Until next time.